Yo, what's up, people? Jeff Logan here, Becoming the Beast Podcast, episode 13. 13 we're almost at 20. Listen, appreciate you guys for streaming this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Facebook Podcasts, and on YouTube. Anywhere where this podcast is playing, I appreciate the support, the comments. I see everything. I read it all, the reviews. Thank you for supporting. You don't understand, like, it does a lot when you take that little extra time to drop a comment, drop a like. If you share it in your story, like, it means the most. Getting some feedback from it, some kickback, and we're getting some haters, and like that lets me know that we're on the right track. Like, I enjoy that. Like, I enjoy criticism. If I wasn't doing shit, I wouldn't be getting criticized. You know what I mean? So we're on the right track. If this podcast ain't for you, you'll know it very, very quickly. If it is, if you speak our lingo, if you're part of the podcast gang, part of the podcast squad, you rock with it, okay? And I'm rocking with you, and we're changing the lives. We're changing each other's lives, right? And we're taking steps in the right direction and applying the knowledge. We're not just listening to this and going back to our regular lives. Like, we're changing the perspective. That's the goal, to shift the perspective, right? So basically, I was on a news channel, right? I was doing an interview for Double Cross, and this is what I said.
If you all go on his Instagram, you might be there a little longer maybe than you anticipated. I won't say why. let's just say, you know, he looks good with the T at the end. All right, so listen, you work out fairly often, and you actually create a business out of it. My question to you, though, is, you seem passionate about all of these things. How do you balance it all and excel in each of those categories?
I really wish I had an answer for you as far as like the balance. There is no balance. It's just being in the moment. Like when it's like, okay, when it's time to work on a nutrition company, you work as hard as you can in that moment. When you're in dad mode, you work as hard as you can in dad mode. No phones, no nothing. I think you just surrender to the moment. Just like, you know, when it's time to act, it's like, that's all I'm doing. So I think in each moment, that's the only thing I'm doing. So it gets the full meat. So I think that's the balance, but at the same time, there is no balance.
So you see, that basically was about balance and surrendering to the moment, and that's how I said that's what I said was my balance, is surrendering to the moment. I was like, there is no balance. There is no, like, you know, certain amount of time allotted on this, certain amount of time allotted on that. And like I said, I'm in the car right now. This is a car rant. It is 1 a.m. and I'm driving home. And right now, as I'm driving, you know, if I just hold the wheel really rigidly straight, I'm going to veer to the right or veer to the left. You're in a constant state of correcting yourself when you're driving, you know? If someone's faking like they're driving, if a kid's faking like they're driving, what do? They turn the steering wheel. You know what I mean? It's because you're always correcting yourself. You're always correcting the path, even if that path is straight, you know? And we're dodging obstacles, you know, taking the best route that we can take, you know? So, with that being said, also, you know, driving and speaking of being on the course, faster is not always better, okay? The fastest route to my house is through the fucking trees. Like, that's the shortest, fastest distance, you know? But it's not the safest, you know what I'm saying? So, respect your journey. Respect your journey. Don't let anybody touch your wheel. That's other podcasts that we already speak about. That's a whole nother podcast, you know? But listen, so we're talking about surrendering to the moment. So, when you surrender to the moment, I don't know if anybody listening has a fear of flying or anything like that, but I used to have a fear of flying, believe it or not, like a long time ago. And what knocked that shit out was I took about like 30 flights in a row. Like, I took about 30 flights in 30 days, like in Europe. I was all over Europe, jumping around Europe, Milan, Rome, Spain, London, Manchester, Switzerland, Germany, like France, I was everywhere, back and forth. And I just got over it, you know, because I kind of had no choice. But I have the best flights when I surrender to the things I'm not in control of. So when you surrender to the things you're not in control of, and you also surrender to the things that you are in control of and control those things fully, you're going to win. You're not in control of the plane. When you're driving a car, you know exactly where that car is going to go. You know exactly how fast it's going to go, X, Y, and Z, because you're in control of that. You can fully surrender to that. When you're not in control, you still got to surrender, you know? And that's how you're going to have a better flight. You're going to have a better journey when you're surrendering to this journey and respecting the amount of time that it takes. You know, you don't get on a plane or a bus or something, some form of travel that you're not in control of, and like, you know, get upset about not getting there instantly, immediately. You know, it's a journey. It's a journey. You know, you meet people, you got to take the journey in. You got to, like, you know, look around for things that are helping you along this pathway. And also, like I said, respect your pathway, but surrendering in the moment. So when I surrender in the moment, I'm fully there. I'm fully immersed in it. I'm here. I'm present, you know, and nothing else matters besides this task that I'm doing, no matter how minuscule it is. A lot of people, when they smoke weed, they talk about an intense focus, or they talk about, you know, paranoia, but that paranoia can come from, you know, being a little too focused on something. So you got to have that same level of focus when it comes to surrendering in this moment. So it's like, how many moments are you surrendering in? You know, like, when you're like, I get a lot of like, you know, aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring models, aspiring actors, aspiring just people who want to make their life better. So how much time are you spending? How much money are you investing in that? Because guess what? Those new shoes, they're not making you better, bro. They're not making you lose weight. Like, they're just not, you know? Like, you got to invest in things. What makes me feel good? Like, what makes me feel good in the sense of, like, propelling me towards my goal, getting me closer to it? What's pulling me there? And you got to listen to your emotions. You know, your emotions will tell you. Your emotions are, I would like to say, they're spiritual guides. And again, this whole podcast is me speaking really openly, just like, you know, like just speaking my mind, man. And it's not law, it's not the rules, it's not whatever. It's just how I operate and how I think. Like I said, I'm offering you a different perspective in this time period that you're giving, this little bit of life that you're giving me, because every amount of time you spend, that's your currency. That's the life you're spending. Don't give me $100. Give me an hour of your time. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me 100. You know what I'm saying? Like $100 versus 100 minutes. It's like, man, there's so much richness in that time. Like, you have to take your time really, really serious, and like understand that you're exchanging life for everything that you're giving your time to. And when you start to look at it like that and label it as such, you start to take it more serious, and you're more protective and, you know, watchful and cautious over it. So, like I said, take this for what it is, man. Nothing more, nothing less. Somebody was like, oh, well, it was a sexual energy podcast. I've heard this done more eloquently. It's like, first of all, where did it say anything about eloquence in the way that I speak? Third, you still jacking off. That's why you came listening to a sexual energy podcast, because your sexual energy bank is just about through. So you're still in need, and you're rejecting it because it's not in the way that you wanted it to be. You know, that's what we talk about surrendering. Surrender to the moment, right? So we have plans and goals and everything like that. Sometimes the plan changes, but the goal does not change. The goal does not change. The plans may change. The route in which you're headed to this goal may change. But the goal itself, nah, it ain't gonna change. You want what you want. You desire what you desire. Okay, and keep it like that. Hold it like that. The person who desires a rose must respect a thorn, right? If you want to hold the rose and it has a thorn on it, you got to respect that thorn. It's gonna prick you, but you got to respect it. It's gonna make you stronger for the next time you hold the next rose and the next rose and the next rose. Next thing you know, you're holding a bundle. You see what I'm getting at? So everything you ask for, you're getting prepared for it. That's what the universe does. It's what God does. The grand organizing designer, G-O-D, grand organizing designer, God. That's what happens. I want to be this. So then the universe and everything else starts conspiring to get you this and readying you for this, because it's like, well, damn, this person's saying they want $1 million, and I know they ain't shit when it comes to money management. So let me put them through a couple hardships to see if they stop buying that bullshit. You know? So it's like, you can't reach for new things with a handful of old shit. You can't reach for new things with a handful of old shit. You just can't. You can't reach for anything if your hands are full. And there's a difference between letting go and giving up. Huge difference between letting go and giving up. You know? Huge difference between changing up the plan and giving up. Switching up the plan, switching up the method, switching up the route is not giving up. You still got the goal in mind. And sometimes you got to take a step back. You don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. Sometimes you got to take a step back. Another thing you don't want to hear, sometimes you're not ready yet, man. Sometimes you're not ready yet, okay? Because sometimes you don't respect yourself enough for this goal. Because if you did, you would operate different. So like I said before in other podcasts, you need to operate from this super version of yourself that already completed the goal. I don't mean who just attained this goal in this, oh, happy day, I got a new car. No. I mean, you bought this new car and now it's collecting dust because you got about 6 of them. You know what I mean? It's like, what would that person do? Would that person be hanging out at the bar with these people? Would that person be, spending time thinking about certain things or talking about certain things or just, certain behavior? So like I said, operate from that super version of yourself. Again, we're talking about surrendering to the moment, being fully immersed in whatever you're doing, whenever you're doing it. Because everything you give your time to is what you're giving your life to. Exchange the word time for life, and you'll spend your life/time differently. I'm giving life to this person. You know what I mean? It's like when people say, oh, don't give your energy to that. You can hear my car. I'm making a left-hand turn right now. I told you I'm in the car. This is car rant. I like my car rants because I have great epiphanies when I'm in the car because I don't normally listen to music. I'm always listening to like solfeggio tones or like, a speech or something like that. Or I'm just speaking out loud. And this time I'm just recording. Speed bump. So yeah, it's just like, think about it in terms of life. What am I giving my life to? When people say, like I said, oh, don't give any energy to that. Don't give any life to that. What you spend your life on, what you spend your energy on is what you become. BecomeNutrition.com. But it's true. It's what you become. You guys want to say thoughts become things, thoughts become things. What are you really thinking about all the time? You're never not attracting. Did you ever think about that? Did you put that into perspective? You're never not attracting. You're always attracting. You're always attracting. Sometimes you attract by default. Sometimes you attract by default. And that's the worst thing to do because when you attract by default, like sometimes you're giving other people the wheel of your vehicle where it's headed. That is auto-suggestion. When the suggestion is getting placed upon you from an outside source, versus that internal source. So you're in control at all times. So when you're just kind of like aimlessly getting entertained or aimlessly listening to a song or something like that, take inventory, man. What are you giving your life to? What are you thinking? What are you becoming? In every moment, you got to think to yourself, what am I becoming right now? What am I becoming right now? Am I becoming this beast or am I becoming the bitch? And when I say bitch, I ain't talking about no female. There's plenty of male bitches out there. I'm not talking about a female. So ladies, I know I got my ladies in here and y'all got my permission. There's some guys in y'all life that are just bitches. You know that. And that has nothing to do with any sort of gender thing or anything. So don't claim sexist on me or anything like that. I don't have a problem with any sexes or any sexual orientations or anything like that. Let's just clear the air with that. But like, you becoming the beast or you becoming the bitch? Male, female, he represents him, he going as a her, he identifying as vaccinated. I don't care what you do. You becoming the beast or you becoming the bitch? You know what I mean? And then also, whose beast are you becoming? Are you becoming your own beast or a beast someone else wants you to be? You got to become your own beast. This is your life. I don't care how out of hand it's getting. I don't care anything about that. You have to realize you're a spirit inhabiting a body, not the other way around. Not a body inhabiting a spirit. You're a spirit inhabiting a body, meaning you're in control of this body. This body is your instrument. This body is your material thing. Again, the universe is preparing you for what you asked for. Your life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Those people that are leaving your life, they're supposed to. New people are coming in your life. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know when they're coming. If you're going through a time of where you alone and you can't take it no more, and you feel the world turning back on you, and you getting cold, open yourself up. Because if you close, You can't receive anything. You don't know where your blessings coming from. This is a dynamic world. You don't know where your blessings come from. Why would you close yourself down? Why would you close yourself down for business and expect a sale? Come on. Like, don't do that. Open yourself up. If it's alone time, if ain't nobody around you, you need to look around. What is this teaching me? Where your emotions are taking you somewhere? Where are your emotions taking you? What am I feeling right now? And then let me dig to the root of this feeling. And what can I do? How can I translate this emotion of pain, of fear, of anxiety, of anger, of sadness into something productive? You know how many sad ass, angry ass, depressive ass workouts that I've had? And I always leave the gym feeling better. Go on a walk, go on a run, meditate. I don't care what you got to do. Do what makes you feel do what makes you feel more like you and more like the super version of you. What is the super version of you doing? I'm not talking about going like, splurging your money, renting cars every week. Like, don't do that. I mean something constructive. How would that, like I said, something very, very small. How would this person walk, talk, act, think? Would they be in the moment, or would they be thinking about something bigger, something better? And when you're thinking about something bigger and better, sometimes you can't be in that moment. You can't enjoy and indulge in the deliciousness of that moment, because each moment is delicious. You know why? Because you're alive. It's teaching you something. Look around yourself. There's certain things that you didn't have last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years that you have now. Okay? Don't take them things for granted. Be thankful. Feel gratitude. Let gratitude radiate from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. When you let that gratitude radiate, it opens up opportunities for more gratitude to come in. Why are you in a rush to get to the finish line? Run the fucking race. And enjoy the run. Enjoy the strides. You see what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me, right now, you're in a rush to get to the end of your life where you achieved that's what you're telling me. So you've achieved everything in your life, right? And you're like, oh, I want to get there. No, you don't. You're like, shit. I don't want to be like 80. No, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm good right here where I'm at. Enjoy the journey. Taste it. Like we talked about with the food. So you want to walk into a restaurant and get to the end, the part where you're full and walking out. So you want to get your stomach pumped full of whatever food you order. You don't want to taste it. You don't want to order it with the sauce that you like, with the drink that you like, sit at the table you like, with the people you love. You know what I mean? So that's what I talk about, surrendering to the moment. Surrendering to the deliciousness of the moment. Taste the moment. Like Skittles. Taste the rainbow. Taste the moment, man. It's teaching you something. Whether it's a suck-ass moment, whether it's desirable or not the most desirable moment, taste it. Feel it. What is it teaching you? Damn. Because the things that make you stronger are usually difficult. Somebody who has a really, really good body, like who worked for it, went through some pain, went through some resistance training. What about the resistance training of your life? That breakup. When that person stole from you. When that person backstabbed you and you still came out on top. Look at you, strong. When you start being weak, who told you was weak? Remind yourself of the strengths. Remind yourself of the obstacles you've overcame. Sometimes those obstacles could look big, but they're soft. They're not made from the stuff you're made of. You know why? Because you built. You done been through some shit. I know you have. That's why you're listening to this. Everybody who listens to these podcasts, they resonate with me on a different level because we're all very, very similar. We all been through some struggle, been through some pain, and we still going through it. Somebody was on my vlog the other day. I posted a vlog on the tube, and somebody was like, oh, man, you got the perfect life. And I commented back verbatim. I said, no, the fuck I don't. I said, remember, this is a glimpse in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I go through real stress. Everything ain't all like dandy. You know what I mean? So, but these are just reminders. And a lot of time, these podcasts, I go back and listen to them my damn self. You know? And I'm blessed to be in a position where I can share with you from trials, tribulation, pain, and epiphanies, where you're like, damn, I'm gonna apply this little portion in my life. And this is why I say listen to them over and over again. You're gonna hear something that's gonna awaken within you that you didn't hear before, because again, you're leveling up, you're progressing, you're going up this ladder, you're going up this elevator in this building of your life, and now you get to see more things. The higher you are, you get the bigger perspective. So now when you go on the ground level, you know exactly where certain things are. You know what I mean? Surrendering to the moment. And the moment is yours to surrender to. The journey's taking you somewhere. Your emotions are teaching you something really, really vital. Slow it down and think about it. Respond versus reaction. We talked about that. You want your body to have if you have to take like a prescription medication, you want your body to respond to it. You don't want your body to react to it. A reaction is something very, very negative. And half the times you don't mean it. Nothing good, like I said, nothing good comes from haste. Slow it down. Slow and steady is the fastest way to get there. Like I said, slow and steady does not mean the fat and lazy. You know? And once you master it slow, think about the first time you drove, right? First time you drove, what did you drive? Slow. The first time you're doing a little, like a K-turn parallel park, slow. Some of y'all still can't parallel park, but that's a whole nother story, whole nother podcast, parallel parking podcast. But you started to drive slow. And then you progress, and now you drive like it's nothing. Now you eat while you drive. Now you're probably listening to this while you're driving, probably eating something, drinking something, texting somebody. That's just how it goes. Like, once you master the basics, you go on to the next level. Mastering. What are you mastering? I remember my homeboy called me out before. We was in Barcelona, Spain, and he said, yo, you ain't mastered shit. And I'm like, damn, what did I master? So if you are feeling entitled to all this money, all this currency, all this whatever you desire in abundance, whatever you want, I don't care what you want, love, it could be anything. You like these goals, they don't have to be material things. Material things for me are the easiest things to make examples out of, because they're just inanimate objects. Like, they're really easy for me to say, like an example about a car or something like that. But you could be manifesting love, man. It ain't about money. It ain't all about money. I've seen some rich people that are very depressed. I've seen some rich people try to kill their fucking selves over and over and over again, and they just don't die. Thank God. But like, money is not happiness. Money is ease. And a lot of times it's complications. So it's like, whatever you're manifesting, again, every single moment you're manifesting something. So don't manifest by default. And also, whatever you're manifesting, you gotta be willing to become a master at that. How many books have you read on the subject? Okay, all y'all got Amazon accounts. We all got Amazon accounts. They got Amazon books on there running rampant. Type in the topic. Grab a book. Don't just hop on Google. Don't just do the audiobook. Audiobooks, like, it's cool. I'd rather listen to a podcast than an audiobook, because the audiobook is like chapter 1. Like, it's very, very boring. I got to read the real book. Like, I can't listen to the audiobook shit. I can listen to a podcast, but not the audiobook joint. But we live in this information era, but it's also the same amount of information that's available to us is the same amount of entertainment that's available to us. So if we can cut some of that off and, just delegate the life, like we said, it's not time, the life that we're given to that. How much life are you on somebody's Insta? Not my Insta, because y'all could go on my Instagram and like and comment all you want. But you know what I'm getting at, the aimless scrolling. Where you're scrolling and scrolling. It's like, all right, wait a second. You know what I do? I give myself a rule. If I find my little thumb, my little right thumb just keeps scrolling, I'm like, all right, 10-second rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we off of this. You know what I mean? Get out the whole app. We're off of this. That's what I do. You got to talk to yourself. Like Jordan Peterson said, you got to treat yourself. This was in the book, the 12 Rules of Life. You got to treat yourself like somebody that you're responsible for. Think about, what are you responsible for? Probably your pet, right? Your dog or a family pet. Or just think about a kid, if you have a child, if you don't have a child, or if like one of your siblings does, or if there's just a child in the family and they say, yo, watch him or her. What are you going to do? You're going to watch them. You're going to keep a close eye on them and make sure nothing happens to them. So it's the same thing about, or if they told you, hey, watch this older person. Think about an older relative, grandparent or aunt or somebody, like let's say somebody's disabled or something. Hey, watch them. Oh, and at noon, they got to take these 3 pills or else they die. you gonna make sure they take them pills. You know what I mean? If you gotta crush them up at applesauce, you gonna make. Hey, you gotta get these pills in. And if something don't happen, you gonna call somebody. So, with that being said, you gotta treat yourself with the same importance. I don't know who hurt you. I don't know who lied to you and told you wasn't worthy, but you are. You are worthy of treating yourself with the love and respect that you deserve. If you knew how much the Most High, how much your perfect self, how much yourself really loves you deep down, under your ego, under the surface level, under the auto-suggestion that you were listening to other people talking shit to you, and you talk shit to yourself through their voice. You talk shit to yourself through their voice. Stop doing that today. That's not surrendering in a moment. Oh, what are they going to think? Oh, what if I post this? Oh, is the caption too long? Oh, I need to filter. Man, post what you going to post. Do it through your voice. Don't cripple yourself. Don't stand in your way. And you don't stand in your way. Sometimes that voice could be yours. You could be standing in your own way. Like, I did a bunch of auditions. Y'all got to send me those positive vibes, man. I did a bunch of auditions for some really big time films. And like, it was one where my acting coach, he's like, get out of the way. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're in your way. Get out of your way. He's like, you're judging yourself. And I was like, you're right. And I had to get out of my own way, you know? And again, surrendering to the moment and these spells that we say to ourselves, right? All the words that we say to ourselves are very, very powerful. They all hold power. They all hold meaning. They all hold just enormous amounts of strength in every word that we say. And the word usually doesn't come out unless it's the thought. The thought precedes the word. So you got to watch what you think, right? Thought, word, action, deed, and then fact, and then history. So with everything that we do, like I said, one of the biggest takeaways from this is surrendering to the moment and then manifesting. What are you becoming in this moment, right? Are you listening to this and are you going to leave this podcast and be like, all right, I'm going to start manifesting some amazing things for me? It sounds so basic just by talking to yourself, but you have to remind yourself of who you are and also who you want to be, also who you are becoming. This is not me. You know, if it's something that's not of you, of not your higher you or your current you, and don't put that higher, when I say higher self, don't put that self like so far away, because when you achieve and attain these things, like you're still going to be in your mind. You're still going to be in your own self, if that makes any fucking sense. And I'll try to like dig deeper into that. You're still going to be like you is what I mean. Like, I thought, making $1 million was going to be like, you're going to be flying around on motherfucking UFOs and shit, like riding unicorns. That's not what happens. Like, you still like pay bills, and like sometimes you forget to pay a bill because it ain't on auto draft, and then something gets turned off, but you know you got the money because you make a lot of money and you got to go pay something. Like, you know what I mean? It's just regular shit, man. It's just regular shit. Everybody's regular. Even the person that you think is up on this pedestal, they're Reggie. Trust me, they're regular. Yeah, I think that's the end of my car rant. I hate to just end it so abruptly, but it's like 1:30 in the morning and I gotta go to bed, man. I got cardio in the morning because I got goals. Becoming the Beast podcast been brought to you by Become Nutrition, Logan Performance, and No Beast Mode. Much love. Become.